let's turn our attention to Kamala Khan in Miss Marvel. So the first episode of Miss Marvel dropped on Disney Plus this morning. I had a chance to watch it, and let's talk about it. This review in particular will not be as long as the other ones. We'll kind of just go through some things, and we'll go through the post-credit scene just really quickly, and then we will be on to Obi-Wan and on to Stranger Things. So this show, it's no secret to anybody, I don't think, that's been watching my channel. Apologies, I'm going to take a sip of water. My voice is getting a little hoarse. Anyways, it's no secret to anybody that this show is not close to my top anticipated MCU projects for Phase 4. It really was towards the bottom. And that's not to say that I didn't think that the show would be any good. I just didn't have any interest in a character who idolized Captain Marvel, who is one of my not as favorite MCU heroes. Again, not because she's, a female or not because she's super powerful, but really just because I think Brie Larson was miscast in the role. I don't think that her performance is super great. All that aside, the Marvels is still a project that I am skeptical about because I didn't love Monica Rambeau in WandaVision. I don't love Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, but if there will be one saving grace to the Marvels, hopefully, at least, it will be Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan. She is wonderful. We'll talk about young Leia in just a little bit. I think young Leia is absolutely way too young to be 10 years old. I think Kamala Khan, on the other hand, is perfect as a 16-year-old kid. I think that one of the strengths of the show, actually, right off the bat, obviously is visually, as we can see with shots like this and how she's daydreaming. Full spoilers, by the way. I said I wasn't going to say it again. I'll just briefly say it again. Full spoilers if you haven't seen this episode. How she's kind of daydreaming and how all the text bubbles are coming up, and it's just so inventive. It's so fresh to see that kind of thing. It feels obviously younger, not just with the characters, but in tone. But also, I think that it works because, Iman Vellani plays it sincerely. I think that Tom Holland was really good at playing sort of the back end of high school, heading into adulthood kind of high school, still angsty, still teenager, still got problems. Iman Vellani plays sort of the more youthful, vibrant side of high school. Still kind of getting picked on and all those classic tropes of superheroes and stuff. But also, and hey, look at how all these things are connecting, kind of like Stranger Things, with Eleven and her struggles at school. It's really kind of, it's a classic trope to see a kid getting bullied at school and not kind of being the cool kid. But it's also really endearing to see how they overcome them and how their friends kind of help. And the guy who plays Bruno in this show, I believe his name is Bruno, is really good. I really think they do a good job of establishing a close friendship in just one episode of television. And I'm really, really enjoying that aspect of the show. I think that her parents and the culture, the Muslim American Pakistani background of the character is really shining through. And as somebody who is not part of that background, it's still allowing me to understand what the character is going through. And really, there are a lot of themes in this show as well, even if you're not part of any of those demographics or backgrounds, that are universal as well. Just sort of not being understood by your parents and the part the part of what am I trying to say? Society that you're a part of. It actually reminded me a lot of Turning Red, the Pixar movie that came out a few months ago. Just sort of learning to accept who you are and be that unique blend of you and your parents and your upbringing that you were meant to be. And obviously she idolizes Captain Marvel. She wants to go to Avengers Con. Avengers Con was pretty fun, by the way. Again, just kind of this really wild convention based on the Avengers with the Tony and Natasha tribute and the giant Ant-Man head rolling around, and it was fun. It was fun to kind of see it from that perspective. I think that these kinds of things are what make the MCU more rich, just seeing it from different perspectives and different people, from different backgrounds. So that was really cool. Obviously planning on making the costume and all sort of stuff. It was great. And yeah, let's talk about the bracelet for a second. It seems like from episode one, it's sort of implying that it was a family heirloom kind of a thing. I don't know if it truly was. I kind of get these Ten Rings vibes, like these are actually ancient artifacts that were discovered by certain people, and um, you know, giving them powers. I would be fine with that, honestly. Like if it were somehow to have been passed down through this family, somewhere in history, and it ended up with Kamala, just like how the Ten Rings ended up with a Shang-Chi, and maybe the two of them will kind of, like go to Bruce Banner and say like, what are these artifacts? Or obviously Kamala would be going to Carol Danvers and things like that. But yeah, no, I think that is really cool. I really was surprised at how charmed and endeared I was by the first episode. It's it really will probably not be a top 10 MCU thing at all. But that's okay. I think this could end up just being one of the most fun, vibrant, rewatchable MCU projects, just based on how lovingly everybody is really taking this show. And I'm really excited about that. Now, really quickly before we move on to Obi-Wan, who's up next, there was a quick post-credit scene, which was a little surprising, and it's the damage control guy from Spider-Man No Way Home. I knew he was going to show up again somewhere. Didn't know it was going to be episode 1. I don't know why damage control wants Kamala in particular. I think it's cool, I guess, to have these characters showing up in other projects. I'd like to know why. And obviously, I'm sure they'll give a good reason, or maybe they won't, but they'll give a reason. And we'll see what that is. So yeah, I'm really enjoying Miss Marvel thus far, and I can't wait for episode 2. Can't believe I'm saying that, but hey, go into a show with your expectations. With no expectations, not no expectations, just leave your expectations at the door, and you will most likely be pleasantly surprised. So there it is.